Okay, for this video, I want to have a look at the trackpad. Very useful piece of hardware. I actually prefer the trackpad over a mouse, but you can get a mouse too. The absolute best mouse to get is this one here. It's called an Apple Magic Mouse. It's about $70, but look, I do everything on the trackpad and I find it much more intuitive than a mouse, but it's up to you. So if you are going to use the trackpad, you should probably know how to use it effectively. So let's have a look. Basic moving around just with whichever finger you prefer, usually your index finger. You move the mouse pointer around using your finger on the trackpad. It's important to note too that this entire trackpad area is actually clickable. So I can click up here, I can click here, here. It's all clickable, the whole pad. So not just down the bottom like a normal trackpad on other laptops, but the whole surface is clickable. Now, so moving around is pretty straightforward. Left click and right click. Now, anywhere you click normally is a left click. So any click is a left click, like on a mouse, left click. But if you want to do a right click, there's a couple of options. You can hold down the control key and click, and you get a right click. Or as I prefer, you use two fingers and click. Same thing. So that was control click or two fingers click at the same time. And that's what you can get a right click. Next, I'm going to show you some adjustments you can make in the settings or the system preferences to do with the trackpad to make it a little bit more maneuverable for you. So check it out. Alright, so now we can have a look at how to make some adjustments to your trackpad. So down here in the system preferences in the dock, I click that. I can go to trackpad. Now it gives you a little live preview there of what the particular setting is about. So I've got a few favorites of mine that I like. I'll show you. So the one that's showing here, swipe between pages, that's already set as a default, and I'll go through that in a minute. Basically all of these are ticked already. Probably the main one that I like to change straight away is under the point and click section. It's not ticked by default, but I prefer it to be ticked, but it's completely up to you. Have a play with it, see which one you prefer. What it is, if I, at the moment, by default, in order to click something, I actually have to press the trackpad till it clicks. So actually push down and force my finger to make a click sound. If I tap that one and tick it now it's just like a tap. So it doesn't need to be clicked, I can just actually touch it. Sort of similar to what you would do on an iPad or an iPhone. It's just an actual touching of the trackpad. So a touch of the trackpad or a tap will do the same as a click. I find that a little bit better and less tiring when you're doing a lot of clicking and a lot of movement there. You don't have to keep forcing your finger down to make a click. So that's definitely one that I like. And the other one maybe is the tracking speed as well. So this tracking speed, to me, that's the one that is up to you. Like if it will track fast, if I see it moves quite fast with little movement of my finger, or I can make it quite slow where I actually need to, move my finger quite a bit. So have a play with that and see what's your setting. Under scroll and zoom, they're already ticked, and under more gestures, that's where I started, they're already ticked. But if you don't like any of these things, you can always untick them. So let's have a look at some of these ones and what they mean to you using the actual trackpad. Kind of handy, have a look. Okay, so if you've made some of those settings in your system preferences for trackpad, this is how you can use those with your hand to really get some intuitive flow with the way that you work on your MacBook. Alright, so let's have a look I just want to move the screen up here so you can see what I'm actually doing. Cool. Now, on the trackpad, if I want to see what's open, so let's get a couple of things open here. I'll open up Pages, I'll open up Safari, I'll open up a Finder window, and maybe I'll open up my system preferences. So I've got all of these things open. If I use 3 fingers and I swipe up, I can see all the things that I have open. Then I can select any of those things. So if I want to see my internet, I click on that. I swipe up, 3 fingers swipe up. I can choose another one if I want to go to my Finder. It's handy for switching between applications. So 3 fingers swipe up and I can see everything that is open on my computer. All right, another one that I find handy is if you are in Safari on the internet, and let's say I've gone to this website and then I decide I'm going to go to this website. If I want to go back to where I was, I can use 2 fingers and swipe to the right, and that will it's the same as clicking a back button. I can do the opposite and go the other way. So I'm basically like flicking between my pages. So that's a handy one that works in Safari. Also, if say I've got a few things going on here, or say I've got 2 documents over, I've got something on the internet here, and then I want to take something from the internet and put it into like a Word document. Then rather than flicking between all the time and keep doing this, what I can do is I can actually, at this point here, once I've done a 3-finger swipe up, and I've got this layout here, if I go over to this corner, you'll see a little plus. When I click that, I'm actually creating a second desktop, and I can create a 3rd desktop, and so on. So I can put Pages on desktop 2, my system preferences on desktop 3, and so on. Now when I click back, with 3 fingers I can swipe sideways and actually change desktops. So I can have a number of different things open, but as if they're on different computers. So I've got 3 separate desktops, so I could copy something here, flick across with 3 fingers and paste it on this one. It's just, for me, a little bit easier to change between programs, to have them open on separate desktops. So that's a really cool one there. And then if I wanted to get to the desktop straight away, let's say I've got an icon sitting under this window here that I can't see at the moment, but I want to click on it. If I use 4 fingers and kind of do a reverse pinch, so imagine pinching something but unpinching, I get the desktop. So I can pinch and unpinch, and I can bring everything that's open and in my way just gets flicked across and up out of the way, so I can get to my desktop and click and open something there. So that's just a few little easy swipey actions that I can do with my hand on the trackpad.